This is why you should stop buying syrups. So we're gonna show you how to make 3 simple syrups stupidly fast and stupidly easy. So if you've never made a simple syrup at home, the base formula is really all ratios. You're gonna do 2 parts of a sugar. So this could be a couple different kinds of sugar, any sort of sweetener. You could use an artificial sweetener if that's your vibe. So 2 parts of a sweetener to 1 part of water. This is going to make sure everything's dissolved, a good consistency, and ready for a latte. Now we're going to start, what are we starting with today?
We're gonna start with a vanilla syrup. It's, I feel like, one of the more classics at home. One of the things we do is most vanilla doesn't come in one of these bad boys, but this is a little dropper tool. This is the pro move. So what we did was, for this, I just did 30 grams of sugar. Again, you can adjust it to wherever you want. We just don't want to waste any. So I found 4 of these is a good amount, but everyone's like a little different on the vanilla you get.
And that's the nice thing with simple syrups too, is there's a little bit of room for personal experimentation of like, taste it, be like, it doesn't really taste super vanilla-y, add a little bit more. You can kind of adjust things to taste very easily.
So we did, again, 30 grams. So we're gonna cut that in half and do 15 grams of water. And what's nice is we can literally just take the water and just put it in. Usually a lot of people have kettles for tea or for pour overs. You don't need to boil it. You can just use it right out of the kettle.
Yeah, so you're gonna see a lot of like syrup recipes will tell you to like put sugar and water on a pot on the stove, simmer it for 10 minutes. We're actually suggesting against that for a couple different reasons. One, you're gonna evaporate some water out. You're gonna mess with your ratios a little bit because it's simmering for 10 minutes. You're losing some water. But you're also gonna kind of start to caramelize and cook the sugars. And depending on what flavors you're using, you're also gonna kind of start to cook those flavors and kind of stew them. So you're gonna get a clear, natural flavor by just using hot water, just enough to dissolve. You don't need to simmer it. You just want hot water that's hot enough to dissolve the sugar.
Yep, and now the next one we're doing is a brown sugar simple syrup. I like to use light brown sugar. Sometimes like a dark brown sugar is just a little molasses, a little hard. But a light brown sugar kind of gives you like a nice balance between a simple syrup and something a little different.
Yep.
Again, we're just gonna do 30 grams. Get all that in, boom. And then we're gonna just half that in water.
And the nice thing is, like, with this dissolve method, instead of putting it on a stove, you skip some dishes and you can make it right in your syrup bottle. So it's literally right, ready to go. You don't have to clean a bunch of sugary dishes, which are a pain in the butt to clean.
Yep. So you just gotta make sure your water is nice and hot, usually at 200 degrees or more, 212,
Should be good enough.
and you're good. And then you just kind of agitate it a little bit and you slowly melt it. And again, if you do it to taste. If you need to add a little more water to dissolve it, you can do that. But usually you can get the whole thing dissolved just with the hot water from the kettle.
I would say too, like, if you do need to throw it on the stove, you can do that. You just don't need to keep it on there for 10 minutes. Just heat it up enough to dissolve the sugars, incorporate everything, pull it off the heat. You don't want to cook them more than that.
And these, if you use a bottle that you don't need to put a spoon in, but something you can pour out, it'll last in your fridge for weeks. So you can kind of batch these ahead of time. They're not going to just last like a couple of days. They'll last a really long time. And it's really nice. And then for the third syrup, we're going to show you the quick and easy. You're making a latte and you're running late for work. This is the third syrup. Yep. So I love a Cafe Miel. It's honey and cinnamon. So for your honey syrup, all you're going to do is you're literally going to pour it right into your latte travel mug right here. So again, I'm going to do what I would normally put. And then I'm just going to half that with water. And what this does is it just like makes it like a nice velvety texture.
Yeah.
And then there you go. You have a honey syrup on the go. You don't always need to make a giant bottle of it.
Yeah.
And The money you're going to save and the freshness of the syrup is just unmatched. It's a quick and easy way. You don't need to get dishes out. You're like, it doesn't need to be a whole day process. You're running late, boom.
Yeah, this is
homemade
the
syrup.
crap. I'm out of syrup and I need it real fast. It doesn't have to be this whole ordeal. It doesn't have to be this whole thing. And the nice thing about all three of these syrups is like you have so much room to experiment with all of these. You can add like cinnamon to the brown sugar or the honey. You can add other spices, other fruits, other things. I mean, they're very good bases that you can add things to experiment with.
I always love doing a little bit of cardamom in my honey syrups.
That's a good one.
You can easily do a dark brown sugar with some cinnamon and even like some allspice.
Yeah.
It's like you can quickly just small batch these out without having to make it an all day thing. One of the things we love is this is a nice, quick and easy way for like experimenting with new syrups. Let's say you don't want to make a huge batch and get the pan and start washing dishes. And you kind of got to make a lot of syrup if you're going to use a pot. But with these, you can do small batch syrups, dial it in, and then you're just good to go.
Yeah. So you can see, like, to me, there's no reason you should ever have to go and buy one of the Torani Monin syrups. And financially, it's a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. A bottle of the Torani syrups is $10 versus a 4-pound bag of sugar is like 4, 5, probably depending on where you are. So, and you can make exponentially more syrup with that bag of sugar than a Torani syrup. Plus, you're getting rid of red dye 40, weird chemicals, all that stuff. And then you can customize it. You can make it how you want, make the syrups you want. So it's a win-win all around.
Yeah, freaking make good coffee at home. Start making homemade syrups. You keep them in the fridge, and you can skip the line at the coffee shop.
Actually, if you want tips, tricks, and recipes sent to your phone weekly, join our Home Coffee Handbook. You can find the link below to sign up for that. It's super awesome, and it helps you make delicious coffee at home.
We'll be sending you some of our favorite lattes that we're making in the morning and at the office.
Cool.
Dude, just
like,
straight honey
comment,
syrup.
subscribe.